You're absolutely killing your progress if you're making the same mistake I was making when I first started training. I always thought that I needed to wake up with the muscle feeling sore the next day to have made progress. I'd always be switching up my workouts, changing the exercises, and trying to make sure I was pushing myself as hard as possible, when in reality, I was making it so much harder for myself. So if you want to build size and strength whilst trying to lose fat, then this is the video for you. Now, problem number one, when you first start going to the gym, for the first 2 to 3 weeks, your muscles are going to feel sore after every single workout because this is completely new to you. This is a completely new stimulus. Your muscles never felt this before. So you're going to feel achy the next day, which is a good sign. You're making progress. And after a few weeks, you'll start to notice you feel less and less achy. Now, that doesn't mean the workouts aren't doing anything for you anymore. You're not making any progression. This just means your body is starting to adapt to the stress and stimulus that you're throwing at it. And the mistake I see people making is when they get to this stage of waking up and realizing, oh, I don't feel so sore anymore after my workout. Maybe my workout isn't good enough anymore. I'll change it up. And they change up all the workouts and they just keep doing that every single session because they think that's the way to make progression. You have to feel sore for you to make progress. But that's not the case. And that's what makes it really hard to stick to and not enjoyable. So when it comes to building muscle and strength, the key thing here is progressive overload, which basically means just getting better over time. And if you're constantly changing up your exercises, how can you measure that you're progressively overloading if you're always changing exercises? Because you're not going to know if you did better this week at that exercise than you did last week. So this is why it's important to pick the exercises and stick with them so you can work on trying to get better over time. Your body and muscles need repeated exposure to adapt. So constantly exposing them to the same movement, the same exercise, is going to give them time to adapt to the stimulus that you're throwing at them. And then eventually, when progress starts to stall and you're no longer seeing any changes, this is the time where you want to change the exercises so that your body's got something new to start adapting to. Your body is looking for things to get rid of, either muscle or fat. So if you're not training hard, your body's not going to see a reason to keep the muscle. That's why it's so important to weight train when trying to lose fat if you don't want to lose a lot of muscle. Now here's a plan you can actually start using today. So first off, you want to pick your training split. You either want to do a 3-day or a 4-day-a-week training split if you're a beginner. My favourite splits for that would either be a 3-day-a-week full body, or you could do upper lower 4 days a week. Any of those splits will be great for a beginner. And next, you're going to want to pick a few exercises to keep in those programs for at least 6 to 10 weeks. These are going to be exercises like the squat or leg press, RDL or a deadlift, bench press or a dumbbell bench press, and then some kind of row and a lat pull down. And then focus on progressing those exercises each session, either by adding more weight, more reps, or just slowing down the tempo to make the exercise that little bit harder. And then don't just switch out the workouts when you start to get bored of them. Stick with it. And once progress starts to stall and you're not seeing any changes, that's the time to change up the exercises. So if you've been jumping from exercise to exercise and not seeing much results, now you know exactly what you're doing wrong and how to fix it. Stick with those exercises for 6 to 10 weeks. Focus on progressing and tracking those exercises, and you'll start to see more size and strength whilst trying to lose fat. And if you want a more detailed explanation on what exercises you should be doing, then you should go watch my last video that explains the 5 movement patterns that you need to be including in your workout plan. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.